let me get this call real quick from one of a state lawmaker.
Yes,
here.
I've had.
Yes, sir.
Just a reminder. This is
No,
live digital coverage.
Let's
so
do
you have
this.
one of the on
Let
the
me put
phone
you on.
and one of us.
Let me put you on speaker real quick. Is that okay? All right. All right. Hold on. I'm gonna put you on speaker here. We're doing live digital coverage here too.
Everybody.
We have on the line here on my cell phone here, State Senator Bryan Hughes. He is a Republican state senator. He represents Mineola, parts of East Texas as well. Of course, is the author of the heartbeat bill, which passed last legislative session. It is SB 8. It is one that was before the court too. Senator, you're on speaker here. You're on our coverage. Thanks for being here. You can hear us okay?
I can hear you fine. Thank you for having me.
We saw your statement come out here too. I just wanted to ask you, words say one thing, but speaking with someone says something else too. Through where you were at the time that this came down, were you watching the SCOTUS like the rest of us were here in the WFAA newsroom, or did you get a call about this?
Sir, we were watching for it. New opinions were coming out today and knew this would be one. So like you and so many Americans in the world, I'm sure we're watching for this. So it's a big day. Mentioned in the statement, this really is the end of a chapter in our history. Dr. King's dream was that someday America would rise up and live out the true meaning of creed, that all men are created equal. And we take a big step closer to that today, when those most innocent little unborn baby growing inside her mother's womb, when her life is now going to be protected, going to get the protection of the laws. Of course, there's work. As you know, in Texas, we've taken real steps and put real money by helping those mothers, giving them tangible help, encouragement, loving them. We're going to be doing more of that. So there's a lot of work to do.
I know my colleague here, Teresa Woodard, she's sitting with me on the desk here. I know she probably has questions too. I have others, but stand by. I'm going to pass the phone right over to her.
Okay, thank you.
Senator, you just talked doing more to put money in place where mothers will need it. What do you say to a woman who makes this decision today and feels like their freedom has been taken away from freedom to build a life of their own? That's something that was an argument for a while, that this was Roe v. Wade allowed a woman to choose her future. What do you say to women who believe that their freedoms have been away?
That's right. There's nothing more personal, nothing difficult that America deals with today in public policy than this issue. Question of where life begins. If we're talking about the life of the mother, of course, we got to think about her life, her rights. Also think about the rights of the little unborn baby growing inside of her. So we believe that we can save the life of the unborn baby while we love and support the mother. That's really what this is about. We recognize that for almost 50 years, this has been the law under that flawed Supreme Court argument. Many Americans have grown up thinking this is normal, but as the Supreme Court, the right to abortion, the right to take the life of a little unborn baby in the Constitution, it never has been. So this is not the end of the discussion. This is the beginning, right? In Texas and state by state, we'll hash these things. We'll listen to women, listen to mothers, and try to get this right. But we understand this is a big deal, and and we know that there are ladies across America who said something else. So we're sensitive to that. We're listening. This is not a day for live people to gloat. This is a day for us all to be thankful and to come together and get this right at the state level. So this is not the end. This is really just
very good. We're working on some technical difficulties, but I'm going to pass the phone to Jason for him to ask you another question.
Okay, thank you.
Just for our viewers, we're talking to State Senator Bryan Hughes on the line here. He is a Republican from Mineola. Of course, he authored the heartbeat bill, which passed last legislative session. I have two questions, Senator. First, about SB 8, the heartbeat bill. It passed. It was before the U.S. Supreme Court. The heartbeat bill essentially said that abortion will allow beyond 6 weeks after a woman got pregnant. That case was before the Supreme Court. What now happens to that case with this ruling today?
You bet. So the Supreme Court allowed the Texas heartbeat to stand. With the ruling today, the heartbeat law takes a different position because, as you know, in the heartbeat law, there is private civil enforcement of the law. And so that will still exist. That will still be out there. So in Texas, with the trigger law that we passed last session, now that Roe v. Wade is overturned, we'll be coming back to the laws we had, so that if the life of the mother or risk to the mother's health is there, then the abortion can go forward. Other than that, there's no abortion allowed. That little baby's life will be saved. And so that will take effect immediately. But there will still be that private cause of action. It may be that there are district attorneys who do not want the law. In fact, last year, before we passed the heartbeat, several district attorneys around the country, even some in Texas, said, we will not pro-life laws. So now that Roe versus Wade is gone, we're still have some district attorneys who refuse to enforce the law. And for that, civil remedy, the civil mechanism in the heartbeat law will still be in effect.
And on the line with us here again is State Senator Bryan Hughes, who is the author of the heartbeat bill. Just for clarity here, because Teresa and I have been talking about this for a couple of days, with the trigger law in place here in Texas, what does it mean with the abortion ruling? Is there a 30-day period before the trigger law goes into effect outlawing abortion in this state, or does that happen right now?
So there's language about a 30-day transition, but because pre-Roe versus Wade abortion laws are still on the book, and because we specifically reaffirmed them when we passed the heartbeat bill last session, in effect, now that Roe is gone, that's already the law. So the heartbeat bill, the trigger law has some language about a 30-day window, but based on existing law and laws we passed last session, it's really effective in Texas today.
And I have one more question. I'm going to pass it off to Teresa, and I've got to run for a second here too. But legislatively, next steps. What happens when you and your colleagues return to Austin in January? Do you expect a further tightening? We have heard from Chairman Briscoe Cain in the Texas House saying that he wants to introduce legislation that would punish companies that would pay for abortions, pay for their employees to get abortions aid. What do you expect we'll see next year?
There's going to be a lot of ideas floating around. Let me say this clearly. What we will not do, we will not be criminalizing the mothers. Mothers in these situations are victims. In fact, the mothers who go through the process tell us that most of them say if they'd had different circumstances, they would not have chosen abortion. We want to love and respect those mothers. So regardless states do, Texas will not be criminalizing or bringing any action against the mother. We won't be doing that. We will be looking at it, we'll be expanding that alternatives to abortion program. That's the $100 million we added last to help those moms with baby formula, diapers, car seats, help them with adoption, and through that. We're going to be expanding that program to give more help to those moms. So that would be looking for next session. That's what I'll be championing next session.
Stand by for my lead, Teresa, here.
Senator, thanks for bearing with us as we deal with these technical difficulties and we pass this phone back and forth. Okay, so you are saying that the trigger law language, and we've been saying this, 30 days from now, abortion becomes outlawed in Texas. You are saying, no, it's effective now, this moment.
That's right, because it's a little bit technical. When Roe versus Wade came down in 1973, they blocked enforcement of the Texas abortion statutes. Those statutes are still there. They were never removed from the books. And when we passed the heartbeat law last session, we reaffirmed, both houses signed by the governor, reaffirmed those laws are there. So even without the trigger law, now that Roe versus Wade is gone, those laws are in place. So the 30-day transition period is in the trigger law, but even without that, now that Roe versus Wade is gone, those laws are back in place.
Are you alone in that belief? Is that the majority belief in the state of Texas amongst Republican colleagues and amongst all legal minds?
I don't know what all legal minds have to say about it. I know that many folks in the abortion industry are
Okay.
are cautious about it. In fact, there was in the media about that,
Right.
how abortionists in different states are approaching this. That's an open question. But now that Roe versus Wade is gone, things are different.
And my final question for you, asking you as a legal mind now, do you anticipate there will be more fights in the legal system in Texas over the course of the next 30 days for people who believe that, maybe we could stop this trigger law? Do you believe there's any standing for that?
I'm sure there will be lawsuits filed against against Texas' existing abortion laws. I'm sure we'll be back in court. You are correct. I think there's no doubt about that.
Senator, I appreciate you joining us very much. Thanks again for rolling with us through these technical difficulties. But you're a wonderful mind to have on and to talk with this morning. So thanks for so much time.
You're very kind to include me. Thank you a lot.
All right, thank you. All right.